What's up, you guys? AK103. So our strike just fell off, so I'm gonna start posting him again. I want to talk about the magazines that we use and he likes the most and I like the most. So all the magazines besides one coming in at around 20 bucks, so they're fairly cheap, and some of them are pretty dope. A few of them suck. We'll get into all that, but this thing has been checked. I'm good to go. No rounds in the chamber. So I'm gonna get into magazines that we both dig pretty much. So my favorite is gonna be the Bulgarian polymer magazines. I bought 10 of these at $100. So they come in about $11 a piece, or they used to. Very cheap, steel reinforced, steel lugs on both sides. These things are slick, super fast when I'm going in and out with the mag and I'm doing mag swaps and stuff. These things really help me. I love these. So these are probably my favorite. Now my least favorite, it's gonna be Pro Mag. Pro Mags, they've been around for a long time.
They suck, and one thing that happens to them is this called the folder, right?
The follower.
The follower, like, so this will get cracked right here, and then the follower will just get out, and then all the springs will go flying.
Yeah, all the rounds will go flying.
Yeah, and if there's bullets in that.
And what he's referring to is right here, the feed lips, pretty much. Those things, they will crack right off under pressure, and going in and out of the gun enough, and your rounds will just eject. It happened to us literally, and yeah, we had 3 of these. Now we're down to 1, and we never use this thing. It feels like it's super cheap. I can literally squeeze it, like the polymer it's made out of, as to where like the P mag right here, you're not squeezing that. It's pretty tough, and this ain't even steel reinforced. It's all polymer. As this one too, but this one's steel reinforced. Another one that I like that you don't really like, but I like a lot, is the US Palm magazines. I think they're like 22 bucks or something like that, but the texture on them is just rowdy, and you can flick them out really easy with your thumb, and you can go in and out really quick. That's why I like these magazines, and they're fairly cheap, especially compared to like Bakelights and stuff like that. These are pretty cheap, and they've lasted me forever. One downside to them that I've heard, and I have not tried yet, is you cannot take these things apart. That's the only downside to them. All right, why don't you talk about your favorite magazine? Which one do you like the most?
My first favorite is the Chinese transitional mags, right? Is that what they're called?
Yep.
And the reason I like them is because they're metal. Like, if you drop this one on the ground, this might come up, and the follower might come up, and you're gonna have to push it down. But like, if you drop this on the ground, it won't. And also that these don't bend when you like get it out, or it doesn't out of the vest, and it's pretty good. My second favorite are these ones.
SGM.
The SGM mags, and
Knock it off. That way you're not getting stoned in your hands. You can hurt them.
But like, the bad thing about these is this thing, like, when you put it in your vest and try to get it out real quick, this thing will get stuck in it, and that's the only downside about it. So
yeah. I don't know, I think these are pretty rigid, but you could tell when you hold this one in your hand opposed to the Chinese one, these ones are made much more better and just more solid, more girth, more material around all the edges. And these are like 40 bucks a piece. Now the last ones, which would be this one, I think this is the last one, I think I mentioned them all, is a Tapco. These are pretty old too. I've never honestly had a problem with these. People complain about these magazines a lot, but I've never had an issue with these magazines. I like them. It's just I prefer other magazines over these ones. I don't know, they don't do too bad going in. They're a little bit more tighter. That's why I don't prefer them. As to where like the polymer one, well, hold on. So like there's there's a little bit of wiggle in there. And the polymer magazines, there's not as much. So that's why I really like these. They're really smooth in and out, and there's not that much wiggle, and they're tough as hell. They don't snag on nothing, and they're super slick. The one downside I have to these though is whenever we're both running, like hot summer day, and we're both running hard, we're sweating, these things do slip in our hands. I've fumbled them, I dropped them. I do still love these magazines though.
They are really good. It's plastic, but all this is metal. So
yeah. Yeah, that's the only downside to these things. My bad. It's the only downside to these things is that they're polymer. But you know, they've really upped their game with the polymer stuff, and I have no bones about that. Glocks are made out of polymer, and they run all day. You know, this polymer is pretty tough. It's about how thick the polymer is. I guess I shouldn't speak where I don't know what I'm talking about, because this one's polymer as well, and maybe it's just not as thick, but it's trash. So, as well as the P-Mags, these come with Palmetto State Armory AKs, and P-Mags, I mean, it's probably the best fitting mag I have, but it's not my most preferred. So, anyways, these are all pretty cheap magazines, besides the Chinese transitional. If I was to pick one to go to war with, or shit hit the fan, or whatever the case is, I'm riding with these. They're the most heavy duty magazines. And then the second would be the Bulgarians. I take these all day because they're just really rigid, and you could tell like the quality on them is just really nice.
And they slide in pretty good.
They do. They're really tight. I guess I didn't even show that. You know, for a metal magazine, that's not that much wiggle side to side. As you guys can see, it's not that much side to side, not much up and down. As to where you get one of these cheaper magazines right here.
That will wiggle a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of play in that one, and side to side. So you can tell just different measurements on both of these, like as to where the thickness of the metal and shit like that. Now drums, we don't really
Use drums.
Yeah, because it's just like a big ass waste of ammunition, but
And also really, really heavy too. So like that's just gonna add a lot.
Yep,
of weight.
you are so right. He took the words right out of my mouth. But these things fit in there pretty loosely too. Now, they do flop all around, so if you're walking around with this thing, you're like... Now, noted, this drum is empty, but still, all these mags are empty. But still, you know, that makes a lot of noise. I do want to try, this is a Bulgarian, this is actually, I'm sorry, not a Bulgarian, this is a Romanian drum. I do want to try one of the Korean drums. They sit at more of a slant, kind of like that. I just don't like the price tag that comes with it. But, so, whenever you're running the AK, which way do you like to run it? With the AR stock or like this, honestly?
This stock.
This stock?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Well, because I can get more of a cheek welder here, so that's the reason why.
Yeah.
To me, I believe.
Yeah. So he's well versed with this AK, and I said about 2,000 rounds he's put in on this AK, and we're not even counting the other firearms, but he thinks more than that, and I've been really thinking about it. Like, I have given him plenty of 30-round mags. I'm like, here, man, just go to town, you know, a couple 30-round mag swaps and stuff like that, and he kills it. He does a good job. Lately, we've been doing like 3 to 5 to even 15 rounds in a mag, just to try to up our skills and save our ammunition, because ammunition is going crazy right now. So, but that's it, guys. I wanted to do basically what we use for magazines. There's nothing too crazy that we use. We don't use no backlights or nothing like that. Me, I personally see like a backlight being $100, and I'm like, I could put that for ammunition instead. I'm not saying that they're not awesome, and I know at a point in time they used to be really cheap. So yeah, I should have hopped on that bandwagon a long time ago. But anyway, y'all, be safe. God bless. We're out.